Welcome to Zeta Protocol, the Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes podcast that is 47.8% more devious than Jar Jar Binks on April Fool's Day. I'm Egnards, joined by Pico. Yes, Donnie Darko is my favorite movie. Why do you ask? Burrito. And tonight, we interrupt the broadcast of an Olympic Games you weren't watching anyway with a very important podcast update. Pico, it feels very unusual to talk to you on a Sunday. I just got done with my brunch stream myself. I've been talking for the last 4 hours. This is normally when my wife and I go to the movies, but Wuthering Heights is the only thing that was out, and I saw that yesterday. So, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. I just finished my taxes. Well, let me rephrase that. I just finished uploading all my documents so someone else can do my taxes. But it's a quiet Sunday.
You had mentioned that to me, and I was like, oh crap, I still have to deal with that. And I have somebody who does like my it's not a K1 or schedule K1 or whatever it is for my business, and then gives it to me, and then I do my personal, and my personal is very complicated because of the business. This year, I think I am just going to pay somebody to do my personal too, so that I don't have to deal with it anymore. It's just a really nice luxury to not have to spend 6 hours at your computer with a beer and question every single number that you input into the whatever tax software you use.
And then hold your breath and hope you did it correctly, and the government doesn't come back in 3 years and like, by the way, you owe us bajillion dollars because you were off by $10 in 2026.
You know, what's really funny is last year, because you say that, the person who does my taxes for me, and this is where everyone starts tuning in and then they tune out and go, what are they talking about?
I
Last
need
year,
everybody to hold on for like 2 minutes.
so last year, the person who does my business taxes, it's the parent of one of my employees, my teenage employees, and she's a legitimate accountant, but she's also very busy during tax season. So, and she refuses to take my money, or like six packs or gifts or anything because I've known them for so long. So normally what I do is I do an extension, and she just gets it done in July, September. No big deal. Fine. I don't care. So April, I will typically just send out a guesstimate, and I'll say, I think I owe New Jersey 1,000. I think I owe the federal government 12,000. I don't know. I have no idea, based off of last year. And last year, I got a mail from New Jersey saying, hey, you owe us $1,200. And I was looking through the letter they sent me, and I was like, no, I think they didn't account for the money I sent them in April.
Yeah.
But the thing is, the letter says, by the way, you need to deal with this in the next 3 weeks. But also, if you dispute it, it's still due, and we're not getting back to you for 2 months.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I ended up having to pay $1,200 only for them to come back 2 months later and go, actually, here's a check for $1,200.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a pain in the ass. It really is.
Thanks for the loan, sucker.
Come on, guys. Like, make this simple for me. Cut it with the tax lobbying bullshit, and just like, I owe you this money. Tell me I know you know what it is. Just tell me what it is. I'll send it to you. I'm not trying to evade my taxes. I want to give you my money, just not with so much time invested. Do we want to do? What do we want to do here? Do you want to rip the Band-Aid off?
Yeah.
Do you want to just bullshit a little bit?
Let's just get to the point. Hey man, I'm not playing the game anymore. I mean, I decided, it's interesting. We recorded, so this is Sunday the 15th.
Yes.
I decided we recorded on a Tuesday, if I remember correctly, the last episode.
I don't
about an
remember
hour
the
before.
exact date, but yeah,
Yeah,
sounds.
it's been about 10 days. But when as we were getting ready to record that show, I pinged you and said, "Hey, I'm done."
Yeah.
Uh, and Hadn't really communicated to the rest of the guild yet. Look, I'm a firm believer you can get on an airplane without telling everyone you're leaving.
Yeah.
So that's not what this is. But there's a certain piece of um, if I disappear, people will ask questions, and I want to make sure that it's my way. Look, someone said to me about 6 weeks ago in the context of another player that the statement was they seem very angry, and there are times that I feel that they would be happier if they weren't playing the game any longer.
Mhm.
And it hit me like a ton of bricks, and it's been something that's kind of just been itching in the back of my head. Uh, I just have been frustrated, and there's a lot of reasons for that. And go back and listen to the last episode, and you heard a lot of it. And I just kind of decided after 10 years, it was want to do something different. I don't know what different is, but I'm I'm just not playing. We found a replacement. I was kind of around for a couple more days, but I've been out since we'll call it Thursday of this past week, and yeah, mornings are different, but really other than that, nothing's different.
Have you found that you have like another half hour? You're like, wow, there's so much more time in my day. Maybe
uh,
tomorrow. Maybe
not
tomorrow when
necess-
Conquest starts.
not necessarily. Although I was volunteering all day yesterday at my son's wrestling tournament. Actually, for a couple hours in my son's wrestling tournament, there was a couple of periods where you get 20 or 30 minutes of
Mhm.
downtime, and it was just like you grab your phone, and you're like, oh, it's not even just like oh, I can't do something quick in the game. Like I removed Discord off my phone as well.
Yeah.
So, it's I don't have anything to read. There's that piece of it. So it's filling those little 5 minute gaps. Uh, my new obsession sitting on the couch pretending to watch TV is Power Wash Simulator. Because it is just very, very calming to just wipe away dirt.
I have
But that won't
heard
last very long.
when I saw that
Yes.
on Steam, I was like, who is playing this game? But I have seen multiple accounts of people going, yeah, I
Yeah.
actually really enjoy how
Yeah.
like cathartic this game is.
Yeah.
I do get the idea though. There was a time a long time ago where I was playing a lot of idler games, like the incrementals, and there's one I
Yeah.
played for like 2 or 3 years, and I could not fathom not having it up on my computer. And I remembered it was probably about 10 years, 8 years ago, because it was the year before I got married. I went on my bachelor trip with my friends for like 3 days, and I remember coming home and at first, like, kind of being excited to boot it up, but the second I turned on my computer, I was like, "What? Delete. No, this is the
Yeah.
right time.
Yeah.
Just get rid of the game. It's over with." Um, it's definitely be a big loss to have you in the community. I kind of had said this to you when H&N ended, right? Like I sent you a message. I know you're probably not ready now, um, but you're like one of very few people that I would want to do something regularly with because of the perspective that you offer to the game that is more nuanced, I think, than a lot of the players that are active in the communities for the game. So it's definitely a loss for the community. It's a loss for me. I will survive. It's not a big deal. Um, but I was thinking about yesterday, actually, with H&N, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Sarah had a different original co-host,
Yeah.
and he left, and they brought you in, and then Sarah left, and you and I went and did something, and now you're leaving, which says to me that the line of succession here is that within the next year, I am going to decide, fuck this game, and just walk away. Um, so who knows, man? It might happen.
uh, I do think it's funny. When I let some people know that I wasn't playing, and San Holo and Old Dirty Blasters, reached out. I was like, "Hey, have you told Sarah?" And I'm like, "Nah." I was thinking, I'm like, "Well, I don't need to tell her." But the next day, I'm like, I kind of maybe should, because I forgot we still actually have the H&N server.
Mhm.
Uh, that, but I reached out, and again, just kind of back and forth. And she and I catch up every once in a while, but she made a comment. She's like, "Yeah, I'm going on a podcast this week," and she was on Ali's. And I'm like, "That's
Club
just funny." And
38.
I'm
Yep.
like, "All right, I'm out, and you're going back to do something from side." So Quietly, y'all can just blame her and just tell her that I said that. But
If she comes back to the game, then that's what it's going to be. It's like,
yeah,
uh,
yeah,
we haven't seen Sarah and Pico in the same room in a while. Are
yeah.
they the same person? Is there like a puppet thing going on? Um, Now this is up to you. Do you have the desire to share why you're leaving? You're like, hey, this is private and doesn't matter. It's
I mean, I think the short version is, it's twofold. One, and I probably should have seen some of this coming. Uh, and this is not intended to be blaming CG. Like part of this is understanding who you are and what you want out of something. But
mhm.
I just kind of got tired of the community complaining, and it's not to say that they don't have valid complaints. I just didn't want to listen to it anymore. So I had kind of pulled back from a number of places,
Okay.
uh, which was kind of disconnecting me from the game a little bit. And then, to call it what it is, I'm frustrated with some of the changes that have happened. And I just, it wasn't worth waiting to see what the change was. And this is, and I said this to Bodie last week, like the new era system is really unique, that if I had not left 10 days ago,
Mhm.
I would have been here for another 3 months. Because like there is that piece of like those eras are a natural conclusion. Like that
Yeah.
seems to be
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna ride this out for the next 3 months of where this sits. And look, a big piece of me understands how I play these games. I know a lot of people are going to attempt to do the 5-star kind of free to play model through
Mhm.
this moving forward. And while that's in theory, that's a great idea. That's not how I would play
How you
this.
operate.
Uh, yeah, so I just, for me it was, it probably felt a little like a snap decision. Uh, but at the end of the, I even went as far as, I logged in on Tuesday and I brought the characters in and I put them all up to Relic 9. I want to see how close to 17 I could get. Us about 100,000 short, but
Mhm.
you know I left the next day for a business trip and really never
Didn't even.
looked back. Um, I just, like I said, there was a lot of, and anger is not the right term, but I think it's the term that people understand. There was a lot of anger and frustration around the current state that just led to me not being happy,
Yeah.
and I just didn't want it in my life, so I removed it.
Which
It's,
makes full sense. Obviously, I think a lot of, I don't want to say us because then I'm looping myself in and other people, but I think as a community, there are a lot of people who do. And you kind of said this before. If you didn't end last week, you now have this 3 month project ahead of you, and everybody has this sunk cost
yeah,
fallacy of like, hey, we're playing this game over and over and over again, and there is no natural conclusion. There's no end game. There is no stopping point. And we just kind of ride along and go through. Not as many people have courage, also not the right word, but a similar word, but the courage to say, no, and I'm done. Like, I recognize that this is not working for me. The game, fine, but for you, it's not working. I don't want
yeah,
this in my life. I want to move on. I want to go and invest somewhere else. I will say the interesting thing with this era, though, is, this is our first time experiencing it. A rollover on Coliseum. That first day was, you see the buildup, right? And the first time we did
yeah,
Coliseum, we go, oh, we have the one guy, this sucks, and then the next guy, and then it gets better and better and better, and then it goes back, and you go, oh, this sucks again, right? Like all of these
yeah,
changes and progresses, and then you go, oh, my guy does nothing again, and all of these guys have level 1 abilities next to me, and I don't understand what's going on. But that's not the purpose of this, and we're not here for 90 minutes, and I appreciate your time on a Sunday. The question that I want to answer as well is, of course, what happens with Zeta Protocol. And, when you originally texted me and messaged me, I wasn't 100% sure what I was going to do. Um, as of right now, for people listening, I do have a guest host that we'll bring in on Wednesday night. Um, and we're going to see. We're going to play it by ear. We're going to see if we can find a dynamic that fits what we had done and the reason why Zeta Protocol came around, which was to have intelligent conversation, whether it was positive or it was negative. And if that can be achieved, the show will go on. If I feel like that can't be achieved and that Zeta Protocol becomes every other show, and I don't want to name any of them because none of them are not quality. They're just different than what we had set out to
Yeah.
achieve.
Yeah.
Then the show will do what it'll reach its natural conclusion point. But for right now, um, Zeta Protocol will tentatively continue, and we'll see what happens. And we'll kind of hope that maybe in a year, just like we did with Sarah, we'll bring you in. And I don't know your special interests. I don't know if Destiny has a new drop. If there's a new something out there that we want to talk about instead of Star Wars, we'll say let's bring Pico in and see what happens. But that's what I want to make clear to the community. And then also give you the space as well if there's anything that you wanted to address or say, or then you're welcome to do it.
Look, look, my biggest hope is that the people that are still enjoying to play continue to enjoy to play, and it's you're never going to find me saying like, look, man, I was angry and I was frustrated and I wasn't happy with the game and now it's gone. I'm happy. That's not the case. Like it's
Yeah.
not. At the end of the day, I'm still a happy person, but I just removed something out that I didn't want to be a part of my daily routine anymore. It's I don't feel better about it. I don't feel worse about it. It's just a change. Uh I was talking with someone. I played EverQuest for a decade and then I
Okay.
stopped.
Hmm.
Like these things happen. I do hope you find a way to keep the show going. I think that a couple of folks from ODB, which is the extent of who I've had this conversation with, have were reaching out and saying, look, like they appreciate what we do,
Hmm.
uh, because it is about having a conversation and not about generating views.
Yeah.
I mean, to call it what it is, and I think that there's a place for that. Uh, I think there's a place for that in this community, and I think that people want that. Uh, and I hope you find a way to keep it moving. So
Yeah, I mean that's the goal, right? And what people don't, I mean, some people understand this about me is when it comes to doing videos, when it comes to doing thumbnails, when it comes to doing video titles, there are definitely things that I could do better to generate more clicks. Um, what happens with me is I think it's something that's funny to me, and if
yeah,
it's funny to me, I'm going to do it. There was one video I did once for Double Drop Day where I asked my friend who does a lot of my graphics, can you make it all tribbles from Star Trek? Just all over
yeah,
the screen. And everyone was like, that you got the wrong game. To me, it's funny. To me,
yeah,
it's like another
yeah,
layer of being nerd. And maybe I lost 2,000 clicks before it because of it. I don't care, right? I do things because they're funny, because they're interesting, because I enjoy doing them. And the purpose of Zeta Protocol was to have that conversation. So it will continue as long as I feel like that can continue, that dynamic can continue. Otherwise, it doesn't serve the purpose that I
yeah.
want it to serve. And I will go on any other number of podcasts that, have the dynamic that I enjoy listening to sometimes, but isn't the dynamic I want to be part of regularly.
Yep. Makes 100% sense.
All right.
Uh,
I don't want to keep you too long. I don't know if you have anything else you wanted to say.
no, look, I will be shutting down Discord maybe a little bit more frequently. So, folks want to ping me, feel free, but it just might be a couple days for me to get back to you.
True
But
story. It took 24 hours to get an answer from Pico last time. I was like, what the hell? True story.
yeah, I mean, look, appreciate what we did here. Appreciate you pulling me back into this. I had a lot of fun for the I guess this is unlucky episode 13, if we've been
Actually, we're a
numbering them
little bit
correctly.
further. This is
Okay.
so I have this listed as not like a numbered episode, but this would technically be 17. So
We
yeah,
kept using episode 12 in the show notes, so I just assumed that this was 13
because I
because
never changed anything. And then I would get a
but
graphic from Moonborn, and it would have the wrong episode number, and I would go, "Oh, that's because I never changed anything. That's right. Oops, my
yeah.
bad."
But
Um,
I hope I wish everyone the best of luck, and yeah, keep fighting the fight.
all right. Once again, thank you for taking the time on a Sunday, on an off day, to do this with me. If anyone has any questions on Discord, we have the Zeta Protocol area on our Discord. And I know, Pico, you are distancing yourself from Discord, but I am terminally online. So I will be checking and probably answering any questions there. But with all of that said, everybody, I say good night, but it's clearly daytime here. Uh,
It's bright out.
it's clearly very bright. But with that said, peace out and have a great rest of your day.